Okay, let me start by thanking Dr. Xiao Xinli about this opportunity to speak to the Innovation Forum in Beijing. I very much would like to be in Beijing this year, but I couldn't make it because of these wretched developments in Ankara. I have got to stay here in order to, there is now this focus in Ankara to turn life as normal as possible very quickly. So I stayed back here, and I'm very sorry for that. Let me start a few words about this issue of innovation. I'm very happy that innovation has become one of the eyes of the Chinese presidency this year, one of the 4 eyes of the Chinese presidency. During the Turkish presidency last year, innovation was chosen as a focus for the T20 network, and we started working on the relationship between technology, innovation and sustainability, basically. And thanks to the Chinese presidency now this year, innovation and new technological revolution have become an integral part of the official G20 line, because last year we thought that it is kind of preparing the future agenda within T20 of the G20, official G20 line. And by the help of the Chinese presidency now, this has been achieved. I see this as a significant step in making G20 relevant for all the countries in the world. And first of all, innovation, new technological revolution has made the growth discussions, growth agenda of G20 much more significant, has contributed, has added some depth to the growth discussions within the G20. Because if you look at the discussions from Brisbane, when it comes to growth and job creation, when that focus is considered, there is this, there are things that needs to be done when it comes to monetary policy, and there are things that needs to be done for the fiscal policy, and there is also a structural agenda list, structural agenda items that need to be taken into account. But up until now, we haven't seen much in terms of the fiscal policy side, and also on the structural reform agenda. And the growth discussions up until now has solely been dependent upon the monetary policy. And we had seen up until now that central banks and monetary policy alone is not enough for achieving the growth and job creation agenda that was set at Brisbane. There is the need to increase the depth of the growth discussion, basically. And I believe that a growth discussion that's solely dependent on infrastructure investments is not enough to create the impetus that was the objective of the G20, basically. And now what we are seeing is with this innovation agenda, with the importance of technology transfer for developing countries and technology diffusion in many countries, the things that needs to be done require a more focused structural agenda. I can say that a more focused structural agenda is basically taking shape, which is very, very much useful for the near-term discussions when it comes to the growth agenda of G20. Second issue is the dislocation between growth agenda and sustainability agenda in the past. Because in the past, there is no strong linkage between the sustainability and the growth process. In the past, especially environmental sustainability is considered as a kind of a negative item, as a cost item when it comes to the growth process. But this thing is no more, because the world has been undergoing a technological transformation. This is causing now a production revolution. So the tangible results of this technological revolution we are now witnessing, basically. And these new technologies these new technologies have the potential to increase productivity in different sectors at the same time, and they are also they also have the capacity to reduce the carbon emissions. So the negative relationship between growth and sustainability has been changing by the help of these new technologies, basically. And in the growth discussions, we have to take this factor into account. And what we need to do is, there is a kind of a win-win situation if the transfer of these technologies to all the countries around the world could be achieved, and if this technology diffusion of these technologies to all the sectors in different countries could be achieved, there is the potential, there is some big potential gain for the sustainability debate and also for the growth process because of the productivity increases, basically. This looks to be a doable strategy, doable global strategy that we can focus on. What we need to do is, we need to see that this can easily form the basis of a very strong structural reform agenda for countries like us, basically, developing countries, basically, because technology diffusion, technology transfer requires structural reforms in all the countries around the world. What we need to do from now on is to focus on working for an accounting framework to calculate the cost and impact of these new technologies in different sectors of our economies. We need to coordinate a kind of climate change funds to finance the technology transfer costs, basically, which is also something very doable. Then we need to develop some matching mechanisms between the SMEs of G20 countries and also the research centers of the G20 countries. What needs to be done from now on is to focus more on this transformational agenda, which is very much important to achieve also the sustainability goals that were historically agreed upon in 2015. And what we need to do is we need to see that we need to ensure that the growth strategies and sustainability strategies to complement each other in the coming years. And I think the Chinese focus on innovation and technological revolution and also sustainability is a huge step to turn G20 agenda into a more actionable agenda. And I think in the German year, maybe we can focus more on this this complementarity between the growth strategies and also the sustainability strategies that the countries are going to prepare, basically. So thank you very much for this opportunity.